Fucking the UVTV, motherfucker. I'm gonna kick spiritual ass and do this for my people. On God. Neon nigga fulfill them again. Today I'm gonna be talking about the power of speaking things into existence and becoming a orator. I said orator. Becoming an orator, oracle, or a source for God, just in general. So when it comes to oracles, it's really the same energy that y'all giving oracles. Because you know what I'm saying? Like oracles, you can look at it like a shrine, and then the other way of how to look at oracles is just a person being like a mediator or a creative medium between God, which is just all possibilities, and reality. You know what I'm saying? And humans and things of that nature. So that's how y'all be looking at, if this was like in a more religious aspect, this is how y'all look at priests and stuff like that. But you already act out this energy on a broad percentage scale. Otherwise, your bitch ass would even be here in the first place, based upon you going through different experiences, different observations, different ways of creating a different idea or containing into a different circumstance, just in general, and creating different shapes and forms, different bodies. Light body being your mind, your second body being the flesh, different organs and representations of what we making as civilization in the external world, and putting yourself in a whole bunch of different spaces. And that's all spirituality is, the actuality of all the different spirits coming together. So we make the world, but you need to have your own world view perspective in the first place. And that's why you have your own mind, and for me having my own mind and you having your own mind, that's us having a space within a space, or our spaces being separate, but we able to share a mind. We able to share a communion. We able to share a similar characteristics. Just we're always gonna have our most individualistic or one of a kind way of how to go about it, but we can turn it into compassion. So compact passion. So we're able to share that passion together and dream work, make the team work, and then we can bring heaven on earth, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? To make it super simple. So just in general, right? When it comes to yeah, but all those different things kind of go hand in hand with each other. It's just based upon the English language and stuff. They'll call it different terminologies of what that is, but they kind of all the same energy. So like being a orator is like you being the preacher, you being the speaker when it comes to things of God and speaking things into existence, or the prophet or the foreteller, when in reality it really isn't that. It just probably looked like some magic, or looked like some, I was able to take something that was make believe, or something that's in the atmosphere, or just in the that's basically in the air, that look unbelievable, and I was able to make a way for that to be actualized in reality, and that is actually substantiated. Oh, that is a part of existence in some way, shape, and form. It's just y'all only look at existence based upon the external world in the physical reality. You have to think about all of existence. So even if you get real make believe, real mystical, real mythological, uh, uh, mythology like, for the most part, you know what I'm saying? So even if you get real otherworldly or paranormal and things of that nature, that's still part of existence. It's probably not in the flesh, but it's still part of existence, because that construct, that concept, that idea is still flowing around. Otherwise, we wouldn't have that awareness of what that is in the first place. So the more we try to make sense out of that state of being, from us being sensitive to the senses, not just the physical senses of how we can touch and stuff like that, right? Us updating our technology when it comes to our awarenesses, and updating our attention span, and us broadening our horizons, so to speak. So the more the more you know how to have a broader spirit, the more you're gonna have a broader mind. You know how to have a broader mind, you're gonna have more stronger functioning organs, which is gonna make you more motivated to be seen. I mean, to cultivate something in the external world, to make it be seen, to make it look like, oh, this is something to actually care about. This is something of existence, and I want to actually accomplish this vision, this mental image in my mind based upon my imagination, and I'm gonna make a nation out of it. And a nation is gonna have different states and different towns and stuff like that. And what makes up states and towns? Men and women. So based upon those men and women, those thoughts and feelings, those atoms, those E's, that attention span and attractive in the attractiveness that becomes out of that attention span. So you drawing attention, so you taking something from what you're paying attention to, aka that spiritual currency. You're gonna do it from a spirit, mind, body concept. So the more you do things for God, God just meaning all possibilities, not a deity. I'm gonna get into that. But from God being all possibilities, you making something possible for yourself, and you able to be in a position that God was in at one point, not like a he or like a she, like a god, goddess, right? It's just all of existence. So it's more of like you becoming your own entity, not a deity. That's it. So you understanding your own substance, subconscious standing, and your own essential qualities about yourself, and try to cultivate and create a lane or make a pocket that is not being fulfilled, and you're able to fulfill that pocket, and then people can get gain from your source or you being a creator of that field, and then you're able to go from there and making that high hanging fruit to make it more eternal and everlasting. And then on a broader scale, it's gonna probably look like, oh, we have to make scientific studies and make some new type of technology, some new type of device, or some new type of understanding to how they was able to do that in the first place. And people can study your mind and what you cultivated for yourself, instead of you getting lost into other people's minds and other people's creations and other people's divination. Not trying to say there's something wrong with divination, but you have to try to understand your own divine nature first, and then you can apply that divination in a better way. So you can have that better relationship when it comes to God, all possibilities. You created something for yourself based upon your own template and worldview, from your own imagination, from how you would do it if people was a part of your world, your atmosphere. The atmosphere is just a world at most. So based upon you having your own worldview and perspective, and how you want it to be seen, and how you want that world to be, how other people can be a part of that world and be submerged or absorbed into it. If you focus more on that on a higher percentage scale, it's going to make you be more productive or more creative, so to speak, instead of counterproductive, or you not living in your truth. So it's going to lead to you just being like a walking liar. But even when you lying, you still tell the truth, because that's just your true state of being. Your true state of being is just you like to commodify and you like to manipulate. But point being is, right, that's the thing that's gonna be more counterproductive, because if it comes naturally towards you, right, you wouldn't feel the need to manipulate. And then you're gonna be so busy being more creative, you're not gonna care to try to manipulate it in a way to where it can go more in your favor. Because even if it's going in your favor or not, you like being in that space more. And then that's it. So in general, right, once you understand how to be in that more priestly position, so someone who is authorized to perform the sacred rites of that creative medium, because based upon priests and stuff like that, right, they're like the spokesperson, they're the minister of like that holy sacred church. So you have to find out what's sacred to you, based upon you being on your own spiritual mission and you going through your own spiritual growth and purpose, and what actually matters to you. So it's something that feels more natural to your state of being. So it could be good for you to do compared to someone else trying to do it. It's probably not going to work out the same way as them trying to do what you do, but they aren't you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have our own mind. We have our own individualistic way of how to go about something. Some people are willing to take the spiritual testimony or bear one's cross more than somebody else, and willing to take on the responsibility of what it comes with being seen in that light, and everything that come with it, compared to somebody else, because they like being in that comfort zone. Basically, it's like different comfort zones. So they're more in a comfort zone, acting out in that nature compared to somebody else. So when they do it, it's fine when they do it. But if you try to do the same thing that person tried to do, motherfuckers gonna look at you like you weird or you're out of pocket, because it's something that naturally ain't something that basically comes to you. It's something that was taught, so to speak. So it's the same way how y'all be like, racism isn't just innate. We ain't just born like Hitler. It's something that's taught. It's basically like that. You know what I'm saying? That's something that came after the fact. You had to teach someone or program them or indoctrinate them or institutionalize somebody or assimilate them, absorb them into that way of thinking or that way of living in that lifestyle and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Since they was a kid, and then to them it just looked like it's normal until they actually go through different experiences, experience different people, different cultures, different outlooks, different perspectives and stuff like that. And then they end up learning how to get out of it, because they end up trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do for myself? Not based upon what my parents want me to do, or based upon what my culture want me to do, or the circumstance and situation of how I grew up and stuff like that, even though that is a part of you, and it makes it so that's it's an extension. Basically, it's like an extension of who you are, but it's kind of like what are you gonna believe in yourself about, though? Like, what are you gonna try to create for yourself, despite all those different factors that also add on to who you are as a being? So it's just you understanding your state of awarenesses and your state of being, and you being able to perform that ritual and spell. Not no, and don't get spooked out for me even saying that. Look at like a ritual and spell, like you spelling something out. Basically, you're it's like you signing your esoteric signature. It's like you showing your spiritual testimony, so to speak. So it's like how can I describe it? It's kind of like you doing something in a pattern, in a routine, and it's like your intellectual property. That's the best way I could explain it. It's like if it's your intellectual property, it's something that you created, basically. So that's your property. And if you was the one who intellectualized it, if you the one who articulated it, if you the one who made the manuscript, if you the one who wrote it out, you know what I'm saying? If you made the blueprint, that's your property for the most part. So that's like your creative medium. So is you upkeeping your creative medium, you upkeeping what you created and cultivated for yourself and stuff like that. And then it leads to why we got shit like courtroom systems and paperwork. So it's well documented that it's this person's shit. Oh, they own it. Oh, they was the one who did it. But it's really just them trying to come modify it to make it so, like in paperwork, Americanized white man world or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's not me being racist, but like y'all get what I'm trying to say. It's like white man paperwork. It's like you have to show your credentials based upon the things they done substantiated of America and society all the way up to what's going on now, to prove to them, like the court system and the government or the state you live in and stuff like that, to show, no, I got the proper documentation to show, no, this is my shit, and I'm proving it to y'all, this is my shit. Even though it's really just them trying to buy into a business and make a commodity out of that, but that's really a different video. It's kind of like when you get married, you having to fill out paperwork to prove to the court system that you're married, and there is benefits when it comes to that. But if you just want to get married to somebody, you can just go get married. Y'all can just start moving like husband and wife and a unit. You don't need paperwork and documentation to prove y'all love. You know what I'm saying? You can just love each other and just have kids and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Start moving like y'all married. Y'all are conjoined. It's like a tribal kinship and stuff like that. Oh, we just combining families and stuff like that. So if y'all love each other and y'all trying to create some type of new form of compassion from y'all loving each other, you don't need documentation for that. And Mr. and Mrs. and I'm gonna give you my last name. No, y'all can just start loving each other and creating things and cultivating things together as a unit and stuff like that, as a family. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, to make it mad simple. So just in general, right, when it comes to being in that oracle, orator, source for God type of energy, right? It's not just about looking at things like idol worship or like a deity, right? So God is just all possibilities, but they look at God or try to self-project that like it's a deity and stuff based upon English terminology and how a lot of Europeans try to self-project that energy, right? So in general, when it comes to you being a god and goddess, right? You have your own mind. So you can play out goddess like characteristics of you being a man and woman. You ain't God though. Like, you ain't all possibilities, but it's your space or your arena, is your perimeter. So based upon your creative mediums and what you done created for yourself, what you done cultivated and stuff like that, you're the god of that world, so to speak. So if that's like me being an artist and I made like 5 different albums with like a whole bunch of singles and stuff like that. Okay, that's my creations. Okay, I'm the god of the world of my discography, so to speak. That discography wouldn't exist if I ain't created. You know what I'm saying? It came from my mind. It's my lyrics. I rapped on those beats because I chose them in Pacific. They're my layers, my vocal layers. They're my flows. It's my delivery. It's my ad libs. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm the creator of that world. So the same way how y'all look at like, oh, like Aries. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, not Aries like the zodiac sign, even though they're really the same shit. That's a different video. But like the god of war, Aries. Okay, he's the god of war. He's the creator of war when it comes to, I'm pretty sure that's Roman. But y'all get what I'm trying to say. Or like Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun. She's the female creator of the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like of that world when it comes to Japanese mythology and in the pantheon and stuff like that. So you have to worship your own being, not you giving your power away, because it's going to go into that energy of like shrines and stuff like that. But I'm going to get there. But it's like you have to worship your own being, your own creativity. It's like self-confidence. It's like self-assurance, so to speak. So from you believing in yourself is going to make other people want to believe in themselves. But in general, right, you're not going to actually attract a good relationship unless you already have a good relationship when it comes to yourself and you accomplishing what you want to accomplish. Otherwise, it's not going to go nowhere, or it's going to turn into some idol worship. You're worshiping someone else's ability to do that, but you're never trying to understand your own ability to do that. So you're never going to be able to have your own circumstance, because you ain't even learning how to be on your own dick. Or if you're a female, you learn how to be on your own coochie and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not even worshiping or giving praise for your own ability for being able to do that and stuff like that. You just giving that praise to somebody else. And I ain't saying there's something wrong with giving people their flowers and stuff like that, but don't get lost into a dichotomy based upon validation issues and things of that nature. But you have to make it agreeable and valid to yourself first, while also making it relatable or in sync to what the world is at presently, because it's still based upon the state of being that we in, right? So if we're being that, then that's what's currently going on, and that's the thing that's present. So that's why the present is a gift. So you have to understand your own presence, but still making it relative to what's presently going on. So it's still going to be relatable and relative. So in general, it's going to look like a thing that people can be enticed or get into or want to be a part of or want to get inspired from you being a walking star, walking example, because that was the alignment. That was the time to act out in that energy based upon that spring, summer, fall, winter, and so to speak. And then it's going to get into astrology and playing out different positionings and knowing when to act out in certain energies at certain times and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's really a whole different video. But when it comes to people who end up making oracles or making shrines, right? Shrines is just them making like a temple or like a church or like a house of prayer. Don't get lost into the Americanized version of what that is when it comes to religion and stuff like that. But when it comes to you basically making like your own home of prayer, right? Is you praying on something, not like prayer as in, oh, feed me, give me liberation and stuff like that. No, you praying on it like a spiritual predator. So once you learn how to pray right, it's gonna be you trying to find another ability to make it so you're the spiritual predator, and that's your prey. You the hunter, and you gonna hunt it. You gonna try to capture and contain and get that. You know what I'm saying? Go get that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you end up being a hustler. Like, you end up being like a go-getter. You're gonna find a way to go get it. So from you figuring out how to go get it, you're gonna pray on that. So it's like you praying on your dreams, or you praying on your aspirations, or you praying on that goal that you want to accomplish and stuff like that. You start putting more energy for you to be a spiritual predator, not on a high percentage scale like how y'all be talking about, you know what I'm saying, like actual predators and stuff like that, and people who end up taking advantage of people and things of that nature. But when it comes to, like, you know, your goals and you trying to accomplish your dreams with the different imaginations that come to your mind, and you being able to create a circumstance to where those can actually be brought to life in some way, shape, and form. So an oracle, as in like a shrine, it's a shrine in which God reveals hidden knowledge or the divine spiritual purpose through such a person. So from you being a person, from you being an individual, you have a piece of the sun because you're a person. So it's your piece of the sun. It's your piece of that seasonal transition, right? It's your piece of the circadian rhythm and how you want to be seen during those different pockets, aka the spring, summer, fall, winter. So just in general, right, on a macro scale, that's like the seasonal transitions. On a micro scale, that's your seasonal cycle and transition and stuff like that. So spring, summer, fall, winter, and you being able to act spring, germinate a seed, spring something off, and you able to cultivate that seed to where it can grow, to where it actually gets brought to life, aka the summertime, and then it's going to reach its fullest maturity until it's going to start to die out and deteriorate, the same way how the leaves start to die out and deteriorate and change colors and change hues and things of that nature, and things start to get more cold-blooded or low temperature, until it becomes wintertime, when it becomes cold, dead, distant, frozen, and those things are now stopped up, contained, and they become fucking ice popsicles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? all that means is you being cold at distant. So the same way how someone can act cold towards you, right? It's gonna come off like they don't give a fuck about you, right? Compared to when someone is in a more high temperament, it's gonna come off way more passionate, or it's gonna come off way more interactive. It's gonna come off way more sentient. It's gonna come off on some like springtime is like when things warm up. Summertime's when things get hot, and that's the accumulation of springtime. And then fall time is when things start to cool down, and it's the accumulation of spring and summer. And then wintertime is when things become frozen and cold, and that's the accumulation of spring, summer, and fall. So just in general, right, when things are more higher temperament, you're going to warm up to something else. You're not going to act so stuck or stopped or contained or frozen into what you're already doing. You're going to warm up to another way of how to go about it. You know what I'm saying? That's to explain like the internal energies when it comes to that. So just in general, that's your piece of the sun from you being a person, and you revealing that hidden knowledge or that hidden potential that you're just trying to actualize. So it's always going to be in the dark, or it's going to be hidden, or it's going to be deep. And you have to submerge yourself into that deepness to bring it up to the surface to make it so it can be seen in a different light, so to speak, because darkness is just the accumulation of light, and darkness is something that's heavy. And when you learn how to be lighter as a spirit, so to speak, or you're able to take things more lightly, you learn how to not care about something, and you can just freely express yourself. So from you being able to freely express yourself, it's going to turn into a situation to where you're not going to be as free, and you're going to be more contained or concentrate into something, and it's going to become more heavy, because over time, from it becoming more heavy, is going to be like bearing one's cross, or the accountability energy, or you holding that emotional baggage. So you have to keep on upholding the thing that you're paying attention to for a long period of time to make another way to make that thing keep going. Otherwise, that feeling or emotion, or that thought or that feeling starts to die out and deteriorate, just like the fall and the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? So you can't express yourself in the same light as you used to. You can't be as free flowing in that energy as much, because you done burnt it out, so to speak. So from you burning it out, now you have to find another way to create it, so you can be lively and sentient again and stuff like that. So it's like you learning how to spiritually jump rope, and to be in a pocket and then jump out of pocket, and then create a new pocket and then jump out of another pocket. You know what I'm saying? So it's just you broadening your horizons, like I was saying before. So just in general, you end up finding that purpose through actualizing that hidden potential, and then you end up being capable of shit you didn't even realize you was even capable of, by actually going in the dark into something that you probably didn't expect for you to get into, or didn't expect for you to actually actualize or get to that magnitude, because you was willing to find the hidden potential when it comes to yourself. And from you giving praise for your ability to figure it out, regardless of you not knowing everything that's going on, that's how you able to actually find out what's going on about it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you have to be willing to go through that doubt, or willing to go through that fear, so you can create that comfort zone to where you actually come off as wise, or you come off as authoritative, or you come off as living in your truth, or able to find an answer or draw a conclusion out of that energy. And that's what being an oracle or being an orator is, which make it easier for you to draw conclusions and learn from your experiences based upon your spiritual testimony, because knowledge is just knowledge, and wisdom is you learning from that awareness, from that knowledge. So you can be aware about something, but you're not learning anything from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not learning your lesson from what you're aware about. You could be doing the same shit even though you're aware of other ways of how to go about it, just in general. So it's you being open to the potential of you not it's just you being open to the potential of another way of how to go about something, even if it's unfamiliar to you, even if it's something that you're in the dark about, and you making that more lighter, so you can have that spiritual clairvoyance, so you can see it more clearly, so it won't cloud up your space, and you got the dark tinted glasses on, or the rose colored glasses on, and you're able to see it for how you're supposed to see it. It's gonna be that is what it is type of energy for the most part, and not the physical, oh, it is what it is. You're able to see the whole scope, so you're able to see the positive and the negative, so you don't get lost into dichotomy of, oh, it's supposed to go for me on a high percentage scale, or if you are real depressed type of person, oh, everything going against me all the time and stuff like that, and ain't nothing can go right, when life ain't about that. It's about the frequency of you being able to be in that equilibrium space, regardless if it's going in your favor or not, regardless of the pros and the cons, the positive and negative. You able to still stay on the straight and narrow when it comes to your purpose, and God like to see that, regardless of if it's going in your favor or not, or it catering to your ego, or it not catering to your ego, and you able to give out game, or you able to give what you already done credit for yourself to help somebody else, so it can be more helpful for them, instead of it being in the energy of you want everything for yourself, which eventually is going to lead to you being counterproductive or you being harmful for you and others, because again, life don't work like that. So is you going through the natural transitions, like I was saying before, of you bearing one cross, and you able to take spiritual responsibility for what you creating for yourself. So you're able to go through the natural transition of the spring, summer, fall, winter. So it being created, it being brought to life, and then it dying out and living its purpose, aka like a monetary gain, and then you able to create another way on how to go about it. But if you're always fighting against that, and you trying to just live or let it be seen in that specific way, that's when it's going to lead to that narcissistic ego type of energy. You don't know how to let go of something. You don't know how to let go of that expression or that specific way how to go about it, and create another experience or another way how to do it. And that's what we're here to do as spirits: go through different experiences, thoughts and feelings and observations, so we can add more to our attention span in our world, and then people can get attracted to that. So that's how you can show your personality and your individuality and your authenticity from you living in your truth, not you trying to manipulate it. So that's how you can be seen in that more oracle, orator, source of God template, while also learning to speak things into existence, because that's your ability, that's your power, by you living in that state of being, you living in that existence. So you always have to be in the present moment of you trying to create that for yourself. It's just we're able to utilize things from our past, previous lifetimes, so we can create a better future for ourselves. But the future or the vision of where we see ourselves, we have to already act like we did it, so to speak. You have to always be in that present state of being of what's going on now, even if you don't got all the different materializations of what that is. You can get close, and you're going to keep on going through different pivots to where you actually actualize it, and then you end up getting $1 million, so to speak. That's like you having a goal to have $1 million. If you already act rich in spirit, if you already act like you have $1 million, you're going to put yourself in a circumstance to where you end up working yourself into a pocket to where you end up getting $1 million based upon your way of how to do it. Because based upon, and then on top of that, God is only going to give you what you can handle. So God ain't even going to give you that circumstance or situation if you can't even handle all that comes with getting $1 million and stuff like that. So yeah, you in the state of being and you got the right template, but you probably can't even handle everything that come with it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to make you go through the full experience or the full scope, so you can actually maintain, or well, for you to figure out how to maintain and contain that state of being, that state of awareness, to bring that into existence, so you can have more power or have more of that ability and find out more of what you're capable of. But you got to be willing to go through it despite the fear, despite the doubt, or despite the people trying to deter you from thinking otherwise and stuff like that. You have to stay on that purpose. You have to stay on that spiritual mission, and your path is not going to be the same as everyone else's path. It's going to be your specific way of how you want to go about it, because it's your journey. You just can't get caught up in the destination, but that's how you always get those answers. That's how you get the most wisdom. That's how you get the most gold, just in general, because you're not too focused on that particular expectation, that particular promised land, that particular destination, how it's going to go. You want to, you know what I'm saying? Be able to be in the ride. You know what I'm saying? Like you're able to you're able to coast freely for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what that shit called. I'm thinking of like a Big Crit song, bro. But y'all get what I'm trying to say. You're able to coast freely, doing it more in that perspective, instead of you getting lost into the expectation energy, because that's gonna just lead to anticipating or looking at something in a particular way, and then those expectations end up getting crushed based upon you even thinking like that in the first place. Yeah, I remember now. Not coast more freely, but coast more smoothly. So even if you are going through the different ups and downs when it comes to life and stuff like that, you was able to maneuver the situation. You know what I'm saying? You was a real good driver when you robbed that bank that day. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that type of energy. Like even though you was going through traffic at the moment, you was able to, you know what I'm saying, find different maneuvers, find different exits, find different avenues and stuff like that. You was able to find your own way, regardless of how tumultuous the world try to make you. You know what I'm saying? Despite how tumultuous the world end up being, you don't let that affect your state of being. You don't let that affect your outlook. You don't let that affect your creativity. You don't let that affect your way of how you want to go about it on a higher percentage scale. And that's going to lead to more spiritual health because you actually care about your well-being and giving praise to that, which leads to energies of actual shrines and stuff like that. Because motherfuckers, based upon their own cultures and traditions and customs and stuff like that, when they try to make holy shrines, it's like they're trying to uphold it based upon some religious outlook instead of trying to create their own way of how they want to praise something or how they want to worship something. You know what I'm saying? Just in general, they'll get lost into the dichotomy of the religious aspect or the monotheism aspect or the Christianity aspect of what that is, but you and your ancestors or your family got nothing to do with that. You got no intellectual property there. You know what I'm saying? Like you got nothing to do with that. So why you trying to appease or give praise to some shit that you had you had nothing to do with? That's like what's the word? That's like what they call that shit? Like it's like gentrification. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like gentrification for the most part. It's kind of like you're trying to capitalize, or like capitalism, so to speak. So based upon gentrification and trying to capitalize, like how capitalists be thinking, you're just trying to capitalize off of something, but you had nothing to do with the culture. You had nothing to do with the people who actually created that in the first place. You're just trying to capitalize off of it for your benefit so you can get y'all business booming and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can update y'all tax bracket and stuff like that. It's like y'all don't really care about the people who helped cultivate it in the first place. Y'all just trying to capitalize off of it and commercialize it and commodify it so it can be made better for y'all system, but y'all not gonna care about the people who created it in the first place, but it's gonna turn into the energy of y'all trying to remix it so it go more in y'all favor, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. It's like you're trying to take away the purity of what this creation, this creativity is, and you're trying to impurify it. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to capitalize off of it instead of letting the artists or let the creators or let the people who actually made that culture just do what they do. And then if people want to be a part of it, they can be a part of it. The minute it turns into that energy of I'm trying to manipulate it so it can be commercialized and it can go in this way based upon business, and we trying to get a whole bunch of money off of it. We trying to get a whole bunch of profit off of it. When the starting point, it wasn't even about the profit. It wasn't even about that. It was just about the creativity that came with it. And then it turned into a thing of, oh, we able to make profit off of it and stuff like that. But that's not the reason they doing it. They ain't doing it for the monetary gain. And that's temporary. They're doing it for the creativity. That's everlasting. That's not monetary. You get what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, you have to purely be on that. And that's the only way you can understand your own power or ability to speak that thing into existence, right? You actually have to, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to look at that thing like it's your intellectual property, but it's like a thing that you already possess for the most part. Even if you ain't get to the point to where you trying to go and you trying to see how far you can, you know what I'm saying, actualize the potential of that, you have to already act like, oh, I got this ability. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you have to already act like I am capable of that. You have to already act like, oh, okay, I do got control over this. Just in general, but don't get lost into like a power trip and stuff like that of you trying to be like a control freak and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you have to act effortless about it. You know what I'm saying? So even if it's out of your control, you able to gain more control out of it because you know how to separate yourself from it. It's like discernment. So you able to tell the difference and you able to separate or be out of that energy the minute it don't go exactly in your favor. You know what I'm saying? You able to, you know what I'm saying? Like what they call that? You able to give it to God. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't gonna try to overly try to control it so it can go specifically in your way. It's like commodifying, it's like manipulating and stuff like that. It's like how a lot of Americanized motherfuckers or capitalists and stuff like that be thinking. You was able to give your power away, not in a way where it's like you're letting people take advantage of you, but you're able to give your power away or your control freak energy away and just give it to God, all possibilities, to where it's going to be possible for you to be in that pocket, just not the way you probably envision it in your mind. And then that's it.